So Eddie's up. This is a good question, Eddie. I read this earlier. He says, happy POFU Day, gents. I'm trying to get a better understanding of PearlTrees' role in the SEO Shield specifically. Are the docs you guys create via our MGYB SEO Shield orders shared on PearlTrees to act sort of like a non-Google property drive stack? Is the idea to mirror these files elsewhere and link build to them to drive more power? Yeah, I mean, that's essentially the idea. Well, what I like about PearlTrees is it's just an iframe property. Like it's all about, and again, iframe stacking. Marco talks a lot about that. Marco and Rob do in the Heavy Hitter Club. We talk about that a bit in this Semantic Mastery Mastermind, but that's like what the ID pages are all about, right? Iframe stacks. And PearlTrees is like another iframe platform where it's iframes and iframes. So it's very, very powerful in that regards. And the follow-up to that is, why don't we just use SlideShare? Well, because SlideShare is a specific type of like files that will allow you to upload, and SlideShare is used in the drive stacks, right? But it's not used like PearlTrees, because PearlTrees, you can add all those different properties to, like different types of properties, as well as you can import your drive folder if you connect it through your drive account where your drive stack is, and then it automatically imports the entire structure and the hierarchy of your drive stack into PearlTrees. So you can get multiple levels deep in the PearlTrees. Like it's essentially it's your drive stack iframed into PearlTrees. So we talk about iframe stacking and that mirror and mirror effect, right? That like that never ending mirror and mirror effect. And that's like PearlTrees is one of the vehicles that can accomplish that. So again, that's part of the reason, like I'm not going to finish reading your full question, but because I think I answered your question, but Marky, you want to take a stab at it too?
We do use SlideShare.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
In drive stacks. The reason why we went with PearlTrees, that's the way Bradley chose to develop that part of the training.
Yeah.
It's one of the sites that he chose to test on. He came to me. We looked at how to manipulate it. I came back, and then later on he incorporated that as part of the entity stack. Doesn't mean that you should not incorporate something else where you can stack your iframes. By all means, stack them up, stack them up, rack them up, plug them up.
Yeah.
That's
so
how I say it. Bomb them.
Yeah, because his follow-up question, or is it better to stay? Is it better to stay focused link building to the SEO Shield as is and forget duplicating files onto other properties? No, at all times, guys, expand your entity footprint, interlink them, cross-connect them to other entity assets, because that's what you want to develop, that relationship. I just talked about this on the webinar with Mike Martin's crew. That's the whole point. In SEO, you often hear people say that you're always trying to hide your footprint as an SEO. That may be true in some cases, and in kind of the older SEO, older web, so to speak. But in the semantic web, you want to expand your entity footprint. And one of the best ways to do that is to interlink your nodes, right? Your other assets, your other branded assets. And so, no, we give you the base through the SEO Shield and through the syndication network, which is part of the SEO Shield, and the drive stack and the G site and the ID page and PearlTrees and Press Advantage and all those things that we give you. That's the base. That's the foundation. But you should constantly, and that's what Syndication Academy is all about, is constantly expanding that footprint, even not necessarily to syndicate content to. That would be nice. And some of them we can, but the vast majority of them we don't, but we ever are expanding our entity footprint by getting placed, a branded profile on more and more platforms, and then interlinking those to other branded assets as well. And that's how you create kind of like that exponential, like if you ever looked at a link graph, you can look at like semantic web, what do they call it? The open graph linking charts and stuff. You can see it there. You can also go to like Majestic and take a look at like a site that like a well-established entity that's been on the web for a while. You'll see, if you look at the link graphs, which is really cool to look at, by the way, you get to see the relationship of like how everything kind of fits together. It's a three-dimensional shape. It's not, it's not two-dimensional. It's not flat. And so that's what about expanding, and Margaret talks about exponential growth, and that's kind of how you can achieve it. That's one of the components of achieving that. You want to comment on that?
To me, it's always a question of why. If you're getting results already, if you're already one, then why would you want to go and add something else to what's already working? Why not save it for a rainy day? Why not keep a bullet in the chamber at all times in case somebody comes after you trying to take you down? Well, I got something for you. I got something waiting on you, so that when you do come for me, I'm going to catch you at the pass, and I'm going to take you down, man, before you even get to me. So We can get results just the way it is. We can get results with the way that we do things without going and having to go to these extremes where we're manipulating super image manipulation and map and doing all of these different map hacks and map things and all of these other things. Save those or keep those in your arsenal, learn all about them, but don't. All right, so you go to war and you shoot all your missiles, and for some reason you miss. Now you got nothing. So that when the enemy comes at you, how are you going to defend and protect yourself? If you go into a gunfight, it's a gunfight. Why would you start shooting at 1,000 yards with a shotgun? Excuse me, with a gun. Why not wait until you're close up so that you can really beam on whatever it is that you're trying to shoot? This is the same thing. Don't waste all your bullets. Don't waste all your ammo. Do the basics first. Get everything in place first. Get your on page right. Get it tight. Get your schema right. Reference the nodes correctly. Get your entity. Talk to Google about your entity the right way. Structure your schema, schematic architecture. Once you have that in place and you have your content is in place and you're producing content on a weekly, on a monthly basis, however it is that you're doing it, and you're in your GMB, if there's a GMB, and excuse me for everyone that says you're not supposed to do this, I do it all the time and win. Get a GMB, even if you're national, even if you're global.
Amen.
I do. I get lots of traffic from my GMB for national projects, for multinational projects, man. Listen, so I'm wrong because I get results and everybody else is right because they say I'm not supposed to do it. But go do this, push power. So we're stacking power on power. Those press releases are magic when they're pushed into this the right way. And then the link building behind that, everything has its place. Now, if you need to add to that, you still have all these other things that you can incorporate into your iframes, into your link, into your properties, into your profile, and everything else that you need to do. Question is, should you and why? To me, that if then else. If I'm already getting results, then I don't need it. Else, I need it. Simple.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. Yeah, you're right. Keep some in your arsenal, right? You always want to have some additional tricks up your sleeve, so to speak. So I agree. Always try to get results with the bare minimum. Like that's been our motto for the longest time, Like people say, well, how many blog posts does it take to syndicate through a syndication network to get results? Well, it takes as many as it takes. Like that's the answer, and it doesn't take any more or any less. It takes as many as it takes, and it is what it is. Like, I mean, that's the thing. If you come out guns a-blazing with everything all at once and you don't get results, then what? Or what if you get results and then somebody else outranks you, and then what do you have left? And so it's good to always try to keep some in reserves. Gary says, hey guys, is there anything we can do with niche relevant domains with spammy links? I found a domain in my niche on expireddomains.net with 10,000 backlinks. I don't want to 301 to the money site, but wondering if it could benefit the Shield in some way. Yeah, of course it can. I mean, you could redirect it to one of your SEO Shield assets, an ID page, for example, right? Press Advantage organization page, G site, anything, any tier one entity asset. That's, again, why do you think it's called the SEO Shield, Gary? It's called that because it shields your money site so that you can do all that nasty shit at tier two if you want to your tier one assets, and it benefits your money site without any direct, linking to your money site with something that could be potentially spammy. Google is narcissistic. It loves itself. I've never seen I think Marco said in the Heavy Hitter Club, we saw somebody had a G site that was had a manual spam action, right? Wasn't that it in Search Console? This is the first time any one of us have ever seen that, period. And I don't know I don't know what the hell caused that, because I've never seen it. I've never seen a GMB website penalized. I've never seen a G site penalized. I'm not saying it can't happen. I've just never seen it. So,
well, interesting. Got the manual. So somebody obviously went through the trouble of going through the G site and determining that it was spammy, but it's still indexed and it's still providing power.
Yeah.
And so, okay, who cares?
Yeah.
You went, you looked at it, you gave it a manual action. Everything is still indexed. Everything is still working. It's still boosting power. So who cares?
Yeah.